I've got some more information about the Mellor Lathe and I just want to share that with you today. It's to do with the oiling points, daily maintenance and some of the adjustments that can be made on the various parts of the lathe itself. Just a quick look around it since I last made a video. So I've got this rod on it on the guard itself here, and that stops the carriage from going too far and prevents me from getting the tool post interfering with the chuck itself. So another thing I found is that there's quite a big gap here between the two sides of the bed, and in this position here, when everything is moved to the rear, it's quite easy to drop things down there, tools, etc. So, and also all the chippings from when you cut some metal, they just fall all the way through if you're not careful. So what I did is I made a little curved catcher, and that goes in here. It goes all the way underneath the chuck itself. So not only does it catch all the metal chips, it also catches any tools or pieces of metal that fall down there. So that's quite useful. So I have continued practicing with the lathe itself. At the moment I'm in the middle of making some chest pieces. Here's one that's just about finished. It's the rook. So they're not too bad. As I get better, I hope that they will improve. I've already made some pawns here, and I've also experimented with how to change the color of the metal. So what I did is I heated this one up so it was glowing red, let it cool down and it turns that color. Not sure if I'm going to keep it like that at the moment. So to the maintenance then. Almost every bearing has got a point to oil. So oil goes in here. If I move it to the rear, there isn't one, and that's because this thread here, this there we go, that thread there ends at that point, but this one here has got an oiling point there, and it's got one at the other end there. Now I've already spoken about these oil points here, and you just top them up daily. That keeps this bearing lubricated. Now, as I said before, this is a plain bearing, and it's the chuck itself and the drive shaft are just sitting on a bed, and I think it's bronze. Now the oil, when it goes through there, it drains out of this hole here, so there's no need to over lubricate, because all you're doing is pouring the oil out of there. And same this end here. Also these bearings here, these have got a hole which go through to the plain bearings there and through to the intermediate pulleys. That hole there is for oil. Same at the other end, this hole here. These caps also come off, and you can put grease in there. In addition to that, in the top of this pulley here, you can see that dark circle there. Now that is a grub screw with a comes out with a hex spanner, and again you take that out and you pour some drops of oil in, and that will lubricate these pulleys here. And that's because these pulleys actually spin independently of the main drive here, which is the bull gear. So these will spin independently of that, and they'll need lubricating as well. Rightio, so when you're pushing the tool post in and out using the screw gear here, from time to time it will feel too slack or too tight. Now, there's a V section here where the tool post slides along the bed here. Okay, so that part of it there isn't actually attached. This is all one casting, but this part here comes away, and it's held in place by a screw here and a screw there, and by tightening and slacking that you can make the slide easier or harder. Now there's a fine balance between it being too loose and not being able to be stable, and being too tight and it being able to move. So in addition to that, the horizontal movement for the tool post, there's two grub screws here, hex nuts, and you loosen or tighten those, and what that does is it puts pressure on this part of the tool post here, which again, if you take these out, and there's a couple of screws on the top as well, if you take them out, then this will actually come away. So that's how you can adjust those. At the moment that's a little bit too tight for my liking. Okay, so there's a short video, and it's all about day-to-day maintenance, oiling it and adjusting it so that everything works the way that you want it to.